Hello, and thanks for joining this podcast. Hybrid working is a buzzword in today's COVID-affected world. Working patterns have changed rapidly, and many housing and care organisations are looking at hybrid models of working as the new normal. So what are the IT implications of this? Let's find out from Shaw Consulting Director, Chris Shaw. So Chris, what are the essential systems and technology that housing associations need to get the balance of home, field, and office working correct?
Most of the organizations we're working with are using Microsoft Teams, and this can be used both home, field, and in the office with the built-in camera on the laptop and either a wired or wireless headset. For meetings in the office, which involve multiple people, a good room-based camera, an external microphone, and a speaker system is essential, and a large screen is required to display the meeting content and the remote attendees.
Okay, so that's the basics then. If you could advise on the perfect approach or system, what would that look like? How could future technological developments improve things even more?
For people working regularly at home, we've seen people setting up green screens so that their virtual backgrounds look seamless and not patchy and blocky like they might do and when you move around. Other people, where they're on calls all day, we've seen them using speakerphones instead of headsets, and having multiple screens work very well for home workers. To enable you to give those interactive workshops when you're working from home and to enable virtual attendees to interact with you, we're regularly using digital workspace solutions like Mural. And these are really great tools that allow everybody to contribute ideas, add post-it notes, put in their comments on the screen. And it really helps with the pre-built templates that they can provide to structure workshops better. Within the office and meeting rooms, we're seeing there's a real range of different size solutions for different size meeting rooms that you'll have, the small, the medium, and large conference rooms. And these great video conferencing solutions, they can consist of an all-in-one systems, which is a camera, a microphone, and a speaker in one unit, through to multiple cameras, which can pan and tilt to the person speaking. And there's even cameras which give you that 360-degree view of the room. So you really feel more immersed in that meeting, even if you're attending virtually. Some of the solutions, they can even be integrated into your meeting room and desk booking systems. So as soon as somebody checks into the meeting room, the video conferencing solutions can launch and it's ready to go when the meeting starts. And then some of our other clients, they're starting to look at how they can run meetings and make them far more immersive by trialing virtual reality headsets.
Wow, virtual reality headsets, that really is a step into the future, isn't it? I guess systems and technology is one part of it, isn't it? But ultimately, this is about people, both staff and their customers. What else needs to be considered?
Well, for some organizations, it really has been a seismic shift in the way that they worked previously. And for many, it has created a two-tier workforce, those who can work from home and those who can't because their job function just doesn't allow for it. This cultural change has been hard. That shift from seeing someone sat at the desk and working to measuring what they're doing really from an outputs point of view. So that's been a big change for certain people, particularly the managers, where traditionally, if you're in the office, you must be working type approach. For younger people and the new starters, they're really struggling to learn on the job from their more experienced colleagues now that they're working virtually. When you're a new employee starting with a new organization, being able to feel part of this new organization in this virtual world can be hard. We've heard stories from people who have started with new organizations recently and they've not met their colleagues in person at all. And they might have had one or two virtual meetings, but they've found it really hard to get to grips with that. I think for most people, the technology has been learned and adopted very quickly, how to use it, how to get on with it. That's not been that much of a difficulty. I think where it has been harder for some people is finding that right type of environment to work effectively at home, whether that's down to space constraints or not having the right speed internet connection or not having a quiet workspace because you might have young children that you've got to care for who are in the house during the working day. We are seeing some teams who used to sit together in the office have regular open meetings scheduled. So you'll join a Teams call, for instance, leave that open to try and create a sense of working together even when you're remote. It works well in some cases, and people can mute themselves when they don't want to be contributing or listening into those conversations. I think one of the hardest bits really in this new hybrid working environment is how do we support our colleagues effectively and look after their well-being in this virtual world? Because it can be more difficult to spot those signs of people who are struggling. And I think this is going to need a lot more focus in the future by organisations, and could see a wider adoption of occupational health systems being utilised.
Chris, as always, many thanks. Lots to think about. Thanks again for your time today.